Marianne, thanks for your thoughts on all of that. And I'm going to bring on now Deb. Deb, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Hi, Deb.
Hello, Marianne, thank you. It's an honor to speak with you, and I thank you for choosing to run for president. My husband and I were so excited to see you in the running. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
The patriarchy would have really got a blow if you would have been elected. Would have loved to have seen that. What I have a hard time with in the government these days are the subsidies that we see going to, and I'm a retired USDA employee and so embarrassed of the subsidies that go out there, and
Absolutely.
the lobbyists that promote all these rules and regulations to make the rich richer. And it feels powerless to me, and the media seems to be in on it because they don't report on these kind of things. And I'm just curious if you have I feel like the starfish throwing it in the ocean, picking up the starfish and throwing it in the ocean. Is there something that I could do besides writing my congressman, as we do on a regular basis? What might help?
Okay, well, first of all, your analysis of the situation is 100% correct. It has to do not only with the changes in the corporate rates, it has to do with deregulation, had to do with privatization, and had to do with those corporate subsidies. I'm sure many people on this call right now would be shocked to hear that the fossil fuel industries that are already, we know what they're doing to destroy the planet. They already have hundreds of billions of dollars in cash lying there. We're given $26 billion in subsidies last year. I mean, why? So you are absolutely correct. The government has become handmaiden to this corporate aristocracy. But the only way to repeal bad policies is to place them with different policymakers. The reason we don't have policies that advocate more for the safety and well-being of the working people of America is because not enough working people of America are making the policies. Once again, how expensive it is to run for office. This is why we must be involved in these elections. Next year, there are midterm elections. If you will go to candidatesummit.com, candidatesummit.com, you will see congressional candidates who I have endorsed who do stand for the kind of progressive values that we've been talking about here. We simply must change the people who are making, somebody, when you have, for instance, the United States government having actually negotiated with big pharmaceutical companies against itself so that they could not negotiate with those pharmaceutical companies. Those were congresspeople and senators who were donated to by those big pharmaceutical companies. But once again, you have to get involved, and you have to get involved on the level of the primary. And that means right now, everyone. When you have huge corporate forces that can just flood with hundreds of millions of dollars, what's the antidote to this? Hundreds of millions of us who are flooding with $5 and $10 and $15 donations. But all of us have to do what we can, and I hope that you will go to candidatesummit.com. What you're talking about, what this lady just mentioned, having worked at the USDA, is something which is called agency capture. And I recommend a book by Michael Lewis called The Fifth Risk. So you take something like the USDA, you take something like, I'm sure many people remember the Boeing Max disasters where all those people died. Why were the Boeing Max disasters? Because the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, was looking the other way when Boeing was cutting corners. When you have, whether it's the CDC or the FDA or the FCC or any of them, when these agencies that were set up to advocate for us have become, once again, agency capture, so that they're doing more to work. When under the Trump administration, the head of the EPA was a former oil company lobbyist, a former chemical company lobbyist, who actually were working against environmental protection. That's why they kept repealing environmental protections. You have to get involved. None of this is going to change unless we get involved. And once again, there are midterm elections next year. Please go to candidatesummit.com and run for office. Think of running for office. Think of, go to your city council meetings. I know that so many people, you know, it's like, who has the bandwidth? But you know what? We've got to show up for this stuff now. Go to the city council meeting. Go to your, see who your state reps are. See what they're doing. This is what we as immune cells in our society must do now. Get yourself involved. And to be honest, it's actually more fun than you might think. Because once you know that, it's kind of like watching a soap opera. At first, you don't know the players and you don't know what they're doing. And then after watching it for a week or so, you're like, oh my God, this is happening. That's happening. Get involved. That's the, you know, Thomas Jefferson was right. He said the only safe repository for power in this country is in the hands of its people. And we have given up too much of that power. We bought into the idea that there's this political class and they're going to take care of everything. Yeah, they really took care of everything. Look where we are.